Good day. I am me. Hopefully you are you. If not, you will be. Yeah, I want to talk about how some people, like myself, take ride or die, 10 toes down, to a whole new level than what I mean. Most people can't even get it right just the way that it's supposed to be meant. But yeah, so have you ever had stuff done to you that was so horrific, but yet you still carry the burden of proof just to save their face, their reputation? Have you ever took the rap? I mean, like, went and faced charges, criminal charges, and done time and everything else that they wanted you to do, just so somebody else could keep their record unblemished. Which I want to touch a little bit more on the record in this video a little later. But have you witnessed things that were so horrific that should have been spoken of? Because I mean, the world says that there's things that you should speak up about, and then the street code is a little different, and then if you go inside the system, it's even different in there according to the rules and regs. But they do have some that are just across the board, that if this happens or whatever, they should just be outright outed. I'm not saying what they did was right or justified in any way, shape, or form. So don't twist my words or misunderstand what I'm telling you, because I don't agree or condone it. I'm just saying that these are the ways that different groups of people think and perceive and see things. But the record that we all should be holding ourselves a standard to is the Father's, because that's the one that everybody will face in the end. But anyway, seen stuff, whether you was a kid or an adult or whatever, whenever, but yet, just kind of turned a blind eye, whatnot, and just kept it because of whatever your reason was, whether it be fear of the person or the group of people, or all of that. Now, don't get me wrong, just because I'm saying what I'm talking about here doesn't mean I'm spilling the beans on anybody, because I don't have to. It's already recorded, all in the book. Not my book, not the world's book, but in the Father's book. Everything is documented. Everything that anybody ever does. But I've been through all this. A lot of it when I was a kid, a child. So, to speak up against an adult that's already an angry, aggressive, an adult. But I mean, there's a lot of things that just being deceived by somebody, manipulated by somebody. All these things, they're looked at as minor infractions, but yet they still carry so much weight. It's kind of like when I talked a little bit, because everything is tied to karma. So say somebody talks somebody into doing something, whether they pay them or not, or they just outright convince them to do something that they know they shouldn't do, but yet they go ahead and do it. So that person will receive their due portion of karma for doing the action. the person that talks them into it will receive their due portion for that action, but then they also receive a due portion of karma for the deed that they did to that person to convince them or pay them to do something that even they know that they shouldn't have done. So they get that portion too. But then they also get another portion of karma for talking that person, manipulating that person, because that's wrong. And they know that it's wrong, because that's why they're getting somebody else to do their dirty work for them, because, you know, they don't want to face the music. But you're looking at it from a worldly perspective. It don't work like that. Sorry, hate to be the informant on to tell you how it works. But yeah, so you're actually receiving a triple helping of karma if you're that person, you know, as opposed to the person that did the dirty work. But, you know, because whether you do it intently or unknowingly, anything that causes harm to any of living creation, it don't even have to be a person, it could be animal, it could be plants, earth, because these are all living entity things that have energy. You know, they just don't have the awareness of consciousness and free will like we do as humans, but they are living entities, and they do have souls, and they are living energy. It's just a fact. But yeah, so I don't know, and for whatever reason you made me come here to do it. You know, here, I'll show you. That building right there is a courthouse, and then that building right there, just behind the parking garage thing, is the jail here. So not that I'm outing anybody, but, you know, like I said, I'm not here to point fingers at specific people for anything that they do or don't do or shouldn't do, or, you know, are doing and should stop, and that's not my place. I'm just here explaining how things really truly work. And I guess you could say I'm a whistleblower on the system, all the systems in the world, you know, not just one. Because he revealed all of them to me. He's even revealing to me how to correct them, to make things right here for everybody. But you can't make somebody want something that they don't want. So that's like, you know, leading a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. No matter how good it would be for him to drink. So this is kind of what's going on at the moment. So, but yeah, you know, I've had things that were so horrific done to me that, you know, nobody knows but me and the person that you know, that did it. And there's more than one time, so more than one person. You know, I have took the rap for more than one person on more than one occasion to keep them from having to go into this building right here behind the camera that I just showed you, and done the time for music that wasn't even mine to face. And did they deserve what I did for them? Probably not. You know, they should have faced their own music. And then maybe that would have been an eye-opener for them or whatever. But, you know, so this is what I mean by 10 toes down, you know, ride or die, you know, the homeboy street code, whatever. But, you know, every time that I've done that, you know, none of them people came to visit me. None of them people put money on my books. You know, and I was doing their time for them, to help them, save them. How, you know, I mean, it ain't like you can talk to me, but I'm just saying, how many people do you know, or how many times have you yourself done things like this? You know, Uh, um, yeah, it's so, you know, and to back to the record part. So the world basically only keeps track of the bad things, the mistakes. Those are the things that people want to point out, especially the court system, which is that building right there over to that side. So when you come back, they just look at all the times you messed up and what you messed up with and you know, all this, and then so they're still holding that against you, even though you've already went, served your time, done your whatever, paper, classes, programs, whatever they made you do. So then that should be squashed. But a reason that it's not is not so they can hold it against you. It's because they can't forgive you for something that they are not involved in. That they're involving themselves in something, so they're going to get their due portion of karma in their own way. Even though they think they're doing right, they're doing good, but you know, there is a commandment that says thou shalt not judge. There's also a commandment about you know, don't point a splinter out in your brother or sister's eye when you have a board or a plank in your own. This means that none of us are perfect, so we shouldn't be pointing fingers and blaming one another and passing judgment on one another. Now, we are to hold each other accountable. There's a difference there, but that doesn't see, they can't forgive you. The only person that can forgive you is a living entity that you have wronged. And then that's up to them. You can ask them, but they don't have to give it to you. That's their choice. But there's a whole thing about forgiveness and how it works. It's in one of my videos. You just have to go watch my videos and find it. But it explains how forgiveness really works. You know, so, but yeah, this is... these are the things that are so misconstrued and that we are deceived into. Not to mention, you know, when you go to court, you have a right to face your accusers. So like when an accuser means you have the right to face a living entity according to the world's court system. So this means it has to be a living, breathing soul, somebody that you have wronged, you know, harmed. So when it says you versus state or you versus a city, well, the state is not a living entity. It's a corporation. Same thing with the city. The city is not a living entity. It's a corporation. But, you know, there's a lot about that you don't understand with their systems, kind of like when an officer comes in, arrests you or writes you a ticket or whatever it is. He just gave you a citation or arrested you on what is called like common law or law of the land. And then when you go to court, the little barrier wall that all the pews, when you go in and you sit down, and then there's the wall and the attorneys and the bench with all the other people, the judge and everything, and then there's the little swinging doors that you got to walk through. Well, that wall is a sea wall, and that swinging door is a sea lock. And when you step through there, they are judging you on what is called maritime law now, because the beast comes out of the sea. Because the beast does not have authority on the land or the beings thereof. It's all in the word. And this is why they judge you on maritime law there, because it's representative of the sea. The black robe they wear represents the Saturn, which is one of the Roman pagan false gods. I mean, you can look into all this stuff, you know. But yeah, so these are things that, you know, and just like when they arrest you, you know, a lot of people can't exercise a very simple right that the world gives them. And the word even says that even the best of men or women can only bridle a tongue for so long. And I've been doing that for my whole life. Almost my whole life. You know, not the very first years, because I couldn't really talk and all that, but for the most part, my whole life I've been bridling my tongue about a lot of things that yeah, really are mess you up mentally and emotionally. The physical part is not hard to heal over, because the body heals itself, period. It's not like emotions where you got to deal with the feelings, or the mental where you got to deal with thoughts and memories and, you know, triggers and these kinds of things. But and like I said in the beginning, I'm not spilling the beans. So all of you that anybody that watches this and knows who you are, don't worry, you ain't got to sweat. Not me, but you will face judgment a day with the Father. That day will come. And it reminds me about, you know, most people want to go to other people using other sources and then making a judgment on that alone of everybody else's opinions, judgments, whether it be the record, through like a system to where it only pinpoints bad things. Nothing, you know, nobody never wants to. It's funny how everybody wants to remember anything bad that anybody has ever done or wrong, but yet nobody wants to remember all the good things that somebody did for them, you know, fixing their stuff, building their things, whatever, you know, giving them stuff, money, food, clothes, taking them places, you know, just anything that helps them out, even just conversations, or even something as simple as a hug, or, you know, hey, was thinking about you, so just wanted to say, you know, love you, I care about you, you know, just want to make sure he's doing all right. You know, not many people even do that anymore, you know. So but yeah, so if you're always being the initiative in a relationship, then it's a one-sided relationship. But yeah, back to the part of people going to other people and using everything but going to the person and wanting to hear their side of a story, any part of their story, their own story. You know, and then so you're making a judgment and a call on your end without even getting all the facts. And then I've also learned that when there are more people, the more people that there are saying things to put down, drag somebody's name through the mud, you know, make them out to be a horrible person, the greater the thing is that they done, that they're trying to hide, that that person possibly knows, or is being a mirror to that person or them people. So the more of them that there are, these are just facts. I mean, research into a lot of all this, and the, like how the FBI and the CIA study into a person to find out how a person truly is, or who a person truly is, kind of thing. So the more people that gang up on one person to make that person look worse, or less of a person to where he's not good or she's not good, the more of them, the more likely that single person is carrying something that they don't want, that the group does not want out. And yeah. And another thing, people that keep to themselves, they're not lonely, they're just alone, because we've learned to live with ourselves and took accountability and dealt with feelings, emotions, thoughts, and we learned to what peace really feels like, what love really is. And it's not that we don't like people or want to be social. We just don't want nothing that's going to interrupt what we've learned to become now, and how peaceful and joyous and great life is. And when we just don't want nonsense, chaos and turmoil and karmic energy, bad karmic energies, narcissistic energies, people and stuff in our lives no more, because we're okay with living alone. We're not lonely, we're just alone. And when you do get to that point, you're more in touch with your discernment and your intuition. And the more you do it, the more heightened it gets. And those that think it's all hogwash, it becomes so heightened that we can pretty much see it, feel it, before anybody has to do anything, say anything, or anything like that. So this whole discernment and intuition thing is not just a woman thing. Everybody has it. But yeah, so and we still love people, still want everybody, the best for everybody, but we've come to a point in life to where we learned that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, no matter how good the water is going to be for them, how healing it'll be, how loving, peaceful, joyous, resting, comforting, all of this, because this is living water. This is part of what makes everything alive. It's water, and air, because it's in water, H2O. So anyway, but yeah, and we just and we also become very observant. A lot of us play stupid. We're not stupid, we play stupid. But and like I said, as for me anyway, I don't know about the rest of them, but me, I'm not into pointing fingers at individuals, because I'm no better than the other individual, because I've done a lot of things wrong myself. So don't think I'm getting myself on a high horse. I have made a lot of bad choices in life, but I've also done a lot of good choices in life. I'm just saying that life and people, the system, mainly only wants to keep track of bad choices, because they just want to remind you of things that you've done, to try to make you feel bad, and because it's all about control and fear. But yeah, so sounding the alarm. There's your confirmation. Well, they're getting close. Maybe they're coming here to get me, huh? Because I'm out and blowing the whistle on the system. I doubt it. But if they do, they have to deal with my father. He's your father too, so don't get that twisted. You know, he gave you life here, so he is your father, just like he is my father. But yeah, so this is what he put on my heart to share today with everybody. So it's another beautiful, glorious day here. Yeah, this parking garage, not really the best for the views for the mountains, because there's just little peaks, you know, like here's one there between the buildings, because the buildings around this parking garage are so much higher than the parking garage. But this is where he wanted me to go for, you know, what I was led to share with you today. So, but yeah, but each time I do go up to one of these, I can pretty much see another parking garage in one direction or another, just kind of like now there's one over there. So maybe that's where he'll have me go the next time, I don't know. Yeah, so just hope you're having a beautiful day, wherever you're at. If you're in the cold, stay warm, you know. If you're in the heat, find some shade. Whatever your situation is, you know, just think before you act, think before you speak. Yeah, and if you want to make a judgment on somebody, for that individual, you shouldn't go to other people, really, first and foremost. And you shouldn't look at the system, because all they're going to do is point out everything bad. So then you're going to automatically assume the person's just a bad person. It just means they made some bad choices in their life, which, who hasn't? Everybody has, whether it's documented in the system or not. Everybody has made some bad choices, period. Because, you know, the system doesn't say everything is against law, which, you know, not their law anyway. But yeah, there's actually 613 commandments by the Father. So, but that's a walk that you have to do with him yourself, and where he leads you in the do's and don'ts. And, you know, and he prefers obedience over sacrifice. But if you're going to be obedient, you will sacrifice. That's just a fact. It's just the way it'll work. Because if you're going to obey him, you will sacrifice things. But he don't want you to sacrifice things so that you'll be obedient. There is a difference there. So hopefully you catch that. But yeah, so yeah, have a beautiful day. Smile. You're breathing. You got another day. Be thankful for things. You know. But yeah, just a little bit more information for you. We still got a long way to go, so this is it's a never-ending journey until the day you go home. And I don't mean to the house, because actually your home is where your heart is. And where's your heart? It's right here. So home is your body. That's actually where you live. You live in your body. You stay in a house. But anyway, that's a whole nother video to get into. But yeah, so have a blessed day. Peace, love, and light. Shalom.